I'm really excited about this one. This, of course, is the Honda E. It's Honda's first proper attempt at an all-electric car. It starts from just over £26,000 or around about £300 a month, and it's got a claimed range of 130 miles, there or thereabouts. And for me, it looks a little bit like Asimo, Honda's friendly little robot. Here are 10 things you need to know about the Honda E.
It has cameras for mirrors.
Let's start here with the wing mirrors, or rather wing cameras, which send live images to the screens inside the car. Why bother, you might ask? Well, because Honda says while traditional mirrors are good for seeing what's around you, they're not very aerodynamic. Replacing them with these streamlined cameras reduces drag by 3.4%. But it also helps with the whole gadgetry look and feel of the car. And check this out, it's got flush door handles, again, to keep the car slipping smoothly through the air. They simply pop out with the key fob to open.
It has a designer interior.
Crikey, Honda's interior designers have been so busy in here. It honestly feels much more like a posh office or a living room, much more so than a car. There's this wooden desktop. Well, it's obviously fake wood, but it looks great. There's a couch in the back, and of course there's this multiplex of screens stretching right across the car, including these ones on the outside, which display the live feed from those wing mirrors. There's even a proper 3-pin plug socket, just like you have in your house. Cup of tea, anyone?
It lets you feed the fish.
There's 6 screens in total. You've got these 2 wing mirrors, you've got the one behind the steering wheel for the speedo and for the information, and you've got these 2 big screens in the middle which handle all the infotainment. You can swipe and you can swap things around, but I'll be honest with you, the graphics aren't as sharp or as brilliant as you would expect it to be, and the display takes quite a long time to load. But you have got this, the aquarium mode. And look at this, you can actually feed your fish virtual food. It's like fish and microchips. You don't get that in a Tesla. And even this rear view mirror is a screen, but you can revert back to the traditional mirror if you want to.
It does U-turns like a taxi.
Honda say that E is a proper urban car, perfect for nipping around town, getting into tight parking spaces. And it does, it feels like a proper little city car. And one of the best things about it is it's got a turning circle like a London taxi, just 4.3 meters, which means you can do U-turns or indeed circles like this around and around and around. I don't know any other cars you can do this, maybe a Renault Twingo or a Smart 4.2, but the only downside is you get a bit dizzy, and I am definitely feeling a bit dizzy now. I think that's enough of this.
You can drive with one pedal.
Like most electric cars, the Honda E has a one-pedal driving mode, which means if I press this button here and then lift off the throttle, it will brake the car for me with the regen braking. That's enough to slow the car down to a complete standstill, and you can adjust how aggressive it is with these paddles. It's quite good actually. It actually feels quite intuitive, which is a lot more I can say for these rear view mirrors. It's like watching a little TV station either side of you with just the world going by. Very strange. And I did try this rear view mirror with the screen on it as well, but forget that. It just takes a while for your eyes to focus on it and just don't seem to get that depth that you do with a proper mirror.
It doesn't go very far.
There are 2 versions, both with a 35.5 kilowatt-hour battery and single e-motor driving the rear wheels. They're all rear-wheel drive. There's the regular Honda E with 134 horsepower and this advanced model with 152 horsepower. Both have a quoted range of about 130 miles, give or take 5 miles or so. In the real world though, we know that's more like 100 miles before you need to start thinking about topping up, and even less if you've got passengers on board. But remember, this is a city car. It's not an intercity express. It's not designed for long hauls. Instead, it's a bit of a fashion statement actually. It's a funky little runabout for short trips. And if you use it like that, you're probably only going to charge it maybe once a week.
It charges quite quickly.
Plug it into a 50 kilowatt or 100 kilowatt charger, and you can expect the E to get about 80% full in just about 30 minutes, which is pretty good going. If you're charging at home with a proper wall box, so like a 7 kilowatt wall box, you can expect the E to get full in about 5 hours. Or if you're maybe staying at a friend's house, you want to plug it in next to their kettle with a normal 3-pin socket, expect to have full charge in about 19 hours. And that's partly because Honda are making no excuses at all that this is a small city car, so the range doesn't need to be that great. And indeed, they've reduced the amount of batteries you have in the car, which of course, the more batteries you have, the longer the range, but then the bigger the car. So it's getting that compromise right, and I think they've got the compromise absolutely bang on.
It's not exactly cheap.
Prices start from £26,660 for the entry-level E, and that's after the government EV grant. This advanced model is yours for a smidge over £29,000, which may seem a lot for a small city car, but it's about average for a fun-size designer EV. Its main rival, the Mii Electric, costs about £28,000.
It makes you happy.
On paper, you might cringe a little bit with the range and the price, but once you're in it, I tell you what, this little Honda, it doesn't half put a big smile on your face. There's a lot of love in here, and it feels genuinely different to a lot of cars. Not just other EVs, but pretty much any car that you could think of. You can even say it's cute, it's just got so much character. And I think that personality is what's lacking with so many EV cars. They all feel so samey. Never in my life have I ever wanted to name a car. I cringe when I see people calling their cars names on the internet. But I tell you what, this feels like a mate, it feels like a friend. Never have I experienced a personality and a character like this ever in a car before in my life.
We want one.
Other small EVs have bigger batteries and therefore a better range, like the Renault Zoe, for example. And cars like the Seat Mii Electric are much, much cheaper. Give me this over both of them or any small electric EV any day of the week. This is a brilliant little car. All I need now is a name for it. Engelbert, Edward, Edwina, Ella, Emma,